Hey, what's happening, guys? Thank you so much for joining me for today's episode. So today we're actually going to, in light of the most recent video that I posted, in regards to Random Treasure's prototype figure of Tito Santana, I figured I'd do back-to-back videos about prototypes. So, whereas the one from Random Treasures is a legitimate recreation of the original design that was planned for Tito Santana, the figure we're going to look at today is a simple custom. Well, I say simple, but nothing simple about the figure we're going to look at. And the customizer I've talked about a million times, Mark Hackenberg, who is arguably one of the best LJN customizers on the planet. I've got probably a dozen or so figures from him. Absolutely brilliant customizer. Again, one of my favorites. So, yes, in terms of prototype, the original design of LJN, of Vince McMahon, was actually a little bit different than what we got in the 1988 Series 5 release. So, kind of give you a little recap. In 1988, LJN did come out with this variant, or this version of Vince McMahon. This is nothing new about this particular figure. This is something that everyone has seen. Now, there have been other paint changes. There's also been modifications to the actual physicality of the figure as well. But we're not going to look at any type of changes like that as far as those original designs. No, we're going to look at one particular type of figure. And I don't even know if you would call it a prototype, but for the sake of this video, I'm labeling it a prototype. It is a sort of one-of-one figure. Again, it's not the original, of course, because that figure is probably worth millions of dollars. But it is a custom duplicate and a perfect replica, guys. So I don't think anybody knows the complete story, but in the time that Vince McMahon was getting his LJN figure released, LJN, either one of the designers or one of the CEOs, I don't know. I don't know if anybody knows the whole story. If anybody out there does know a little bit more than me, obviously, please leave it in the comments. I would love to know more about how this came to be. But LJN did present Vince McMahon with his own specially designed Vince McMahon LJN figure. And this LJN figure is exactly what was presented to Vince McMahon. So when I say this was a sort of one-of-one, this isn't something that you would have necessarily seen him wear on WWF Superstars or Monday Night Raw or anything like that. At least not to my knowledge. No, this is the actual design that LJN presented. So this would have been like sitting in a glass casing on his desk, or maybe, I'm pretty sure it would have been vaulted somewhere eventually. I would love to see that, man. To see the Vince McMahon Museum. I've created my own little museum down here of wrestling history, wrestling action figure history. But shoot, with the multi-billionaire, the man that basically not just made wrestling territorial, but made it global the way that he did, with freaking TV deals and licensing agreements with toy companies, trading cards, clothing lines, movies and TV shows. Absolutely brilliant advertisement and marketing mind. So when everybody kind of hate, when I want to say hates on him, but when it's kind of like frowned upon about all these different gimmicks that the man came up with in like the 1990s, talking about like Duke the Dumpster Drosy being a garbage or being a waste management employee or something. You know, why is that your gimmick? That's your full-time job, right? So why are you also a wrestler type of deal? And I kind of laugh at that because, you know what? They're speaking facts. I mean, yeah, you are if you are a waste management specialist, I guess that's the correct terminology. I can't really call someone a garbage guy because that just sounds unprofessional or sounds disrespectful in some way. So, but when people make that argument, it's true. But I love a lot of those gimmicks that people came out with. Papa Shango's a witch doctor type of deal. Brilliant. So much fun. A lot of that stuff. Some of the stuff was lame, sure, but you know, it's a lot of wrestling was steered towards kids. You know, those are going to make you your bulk of your fans and whatnot. So I talked to Mark. This was probably weeks and weeks ago, a couple months, I don't know when, but he was talking about, he had shown me some photographs of some repaints of Vince McMahon he had done. And I had talked about wanting the one-of-one LJN that LJN had presented to Vince McMahon. The sort of LJN figure that no other collector has. Now, has any other collector out there gone and had someone customize a figure like this? I don't know. For the sake of my purposes, I would like to think that I'm the only one who has it, but I know it's someone's probably customized it at some point. And sure enough, you know what? Mark, he got the Vince McMahon figure, and in true Mark Hackenberg style, absolute brilliant. I mean, this is, like I said, professionally painted. You don't see cracking in this figure. You don't see paint bleed. You don't see wet lines or anything from the paintbrushes. This is just perfectly done all around. I'm trying to look around the figure and just to find the smallest hint of cracking or paint bleed or something, and I'm not gonna like knock on him if I find it, but I'm just trying my best to find it because I want to be able to call out something negative, and I just can't do it. Like I said, when I go through these, it's perfect every freaking time. The man is absolutely brilliant at what he does. So when I call out my favorite customizers, there is a reason why I say Mark Hackenberg is one of the best darn customizers out there. And I always want to give credit where credit is due, right? And I'm sure, Mark, if you guys have any interest in repaints, or if you have particular color schemes or designs in mind that you would like, a lot of figures. Now, this one I bought from him, so I didn't have Vince McMahon that I sent to him or anything like that. But I'm sure a lot of customizers, if you want to save some money, if you have a figure available and you want to mail it to them, let them paint it up for you, that's going to save you a ton of money. Because, you know, this figure, let's say $100. I mean, it cost me more than 100, but again, just try to make it easy. Let's say I paid $100 on this. That's because I'm basically paying for the figure plus the artistry, the time and effort, the supplies, obviously, because he's got to buy the paint and brushes and everything, right? So, but if I go out on eBay and I win, let's say I win him on eBay for $50, free shipping, taxes. Let's say I pay $55. Maybe Mark could paint this up for $30. Or hell, maybe if I had a spare Vince McMahon sitting in my inventories for the last couple of years, who knows how much I paid on that one. Maybe I won them in a bundle, and the bundle was about another figure that I wanted. So, and it was just like a secondary throw-in figure type of deal. I don't know. The point is, if you got figures that you want repainted, save yourself some money. Otherwise, I always recommend going through guys like Mark. I'm like Mark Hackenberg, like Rob Jackson, because they're fantastic at what they do, right? Over the years, I've given a shout out to guys like John Ruggiero, who I think has done amazing work. Kenny Lester, who paints the figures for the Raider Nation. Quality work all around. So I talk about Steven Watson, who does all of the Hasbros, and Mattel Retros, for example. So, I mean, there are plenty of brilliant artists out there. Now, I obviously don't deal with every single artist imaginable. I mean, I would love to be introduced to everyone and be able to have the opportunity to buy from each artist and say, man, I got XXX figure, or I got this BBB figure from so and so, or whatnot. But those I do business with a lot, and I do a lot of business with. Ecstatic. Yeah, man. That's all, guys. I just wanted this to be a standalone video. So when I got this figure in, and we already know, we are still in the first round of the My Favorite LJN tournament. If we were in like round 2, round 3, a lot of the new figures that I'm acquiring, they would just be there. They wouldn't partake in the tournament. But a lot of these figures that I'm getting in now, we are so early in the tournament that, yeah, any figure I get in while we're still in the first round will be included in the tournament. So yes, Vince McMahon will be part of the tournament. And dang it, if we don't see this man go 3-4 rounds plus, I would be deeply surprised. It all depends on who he's facing, of course, but fantastic. Generally, I like the original LJN Vince McMahon with red coat a little bit better than some of my customs. Maybe more because it's original, but getting that special one-of-one design that was unique to Vince McMahon himself as a special gift from the group of LJN. Again, I don't know who from the company presented him the figure, but this right here was one of those prototypes that was really important for me to pick up. So, yeah, getting this in, getting that Tito Santana, getting that black shirt, Hillbilly Jim, getting like the scarf for like Adrian Adonis, and the different poses for like Mean Gene Okerlund and Freddie Blassie, right? Getting all these different poses, different color schemes for original designs, it means a lot. For the original LJN collection, I've talked about not just wanting original figures, but all of their variants as well. Well, original designs, figures that were slated to be released, but then we came out with something else. Yeah, those to me are, in my estimation, or my point of view, variants. So I would love to have those as well, original release or not. So, alright, so we're at about 13.5 minutes, guys. Originally, I was thinking if this video went below 10 minutes, I was probably going to post this the same day as the Ram Treasures video. Maybe post that like around 9, post this video around 5 or something, but at 13 plus minutes, I'm going to make this its own special day, its own special video, so viewers will have the whole day, the whole opportunity to watch it by itself. Don't have to tally any other videos in there. So, anything else I need to say? If you do want to look him up, Mark Hackenberg on Facebook, or if you want to go on eBay, Hack316. My recommendation, guys, I say do both yourselves a favor and go through PayPal. If you find figures on his eBay account that you want to buy, go through eBay or go through PayPal, friends and family, and buy the figures. I mean, he is going to get the figure out to you very next day. So, and it's going to save him selling fees, and it's going to save you for having to pay all the taxes and stuff. So, it is going to work out for both parties. So, but you guys know how I feel about Mercari and eBay and all these down things. Trying to take extra money from sellers. Multi-billion-dollar corporations taking away from the lookout. No, I hate that. I say use use something like PayPal or as much as you can, or cash on delivery if you live in the same area. So something like that, that works for me. Me personally, even if I live in the same area, like if I'm in Louisville and I'm dropping off, if I'm meeting someone at like a McDonald's to sell them some action figures or something, I'd rather have that PayPal because I'd rather have it go into the bank account. I mean, I have no purpose or no use for cash anymore, so that's just my point of view. But anyways, guys, that's it. One last glance at the Vince McMahon figure. That way you kind of get all details. Really solid work. Like I said, I really looked hard to try and find some kind of faults, and they're just not there. Such a great piece. Another awesome prototype to add to the collection. That's it for this video, guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time. Goodbye, everybody.